Great.
Welcome, Jonah. I would like
Thank
to
you.
introduce Jonah to everybody. So basically, Jonah is a musician, and this is something that it's very important because even if he is also working in music um, administration and production and doing a lot of behind the scenes work, he is an active musician. He has training in guitar and voice, and then he is working with a lot of multidisciplinary artists, especially with movement artists, and creating some experimental music, and that this is very, very cool as a concept. And then aside of that, he works on Make Music Day, that is controlled by Make Music Alliance. And I am so excited to have you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And I would like you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what is the Music Day Alliance and Make Music Day.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Mar, and I'm excited to speak with you all this evening. Yeah, so as Mar said, I'm a guitarist and director and sometimes movement artist and vocalist. And I'm originally from Berkeley, California, and attended, which is often confused with Berklee College of Music, but spelled with a Y at the end instead of two E's. It's just across from San Francisco. And I went to college at the University of Miami in Florida and lived there for a little while, and have now relocated to Brooklyn, New York, where I am currently and have been for a few years. Yeah, I don't need to say too much more about myself. If we want to go there later, we could. But I think what I am most importantly here to tell you about is the Make Music Alliance, which is an organization that that is really dear to me. I work for the Alliance, but I also I got involved with Make Music Day as a musician and as an organizer first, and that was kind of my avenue into now having a bit more of an administrative role. So, Make Music Day as a concept was started in France in the 80s, in 1982, and it was actually started by the French Ministry of Culture, and it's been celebrated on June 21st every year since 1982 in France, and it's become quite a huge event in France each year. And the idea is that the literal translation from the person who invented it, he said that he wanted to create a festival with music everywhere and the concert nowhere. So the idea is music by everyone, for everyone, music everywhere, and that everyone is a musician and can be a musician. So it's really celebrating the musician in everyone and kind of the universality of music. And that's something that has always been really dear to me. You may hear some noise in the background over here. There are beautiful people protesting for Black Lives Matter on the street outside of my apartment. So
That's good.
Pardon
That's
the noise.
Good noise. That's good noise.
Yes, it's good noise. It's good noise. Just wanted to point out it's definitely good noise. Pardon it, but also we cheer it on. Yeah, so the universality of music and music making is something that has always been really interesting to me personally. And personally, I've always been interested in the ways that relates to broader notions of what it means to make music and what is music and how we make music. And so this notion of music everywhere and the concert nowhere is something that's really interesting to me personally on the level of expanding the ways that we can access music and what we can do to make music together. So the Make Music Alliance is a very small nonprofit based mostly in New York City. We only have 4 staff. 3 of us are quite part-time and 1 full-time, sponsored largely by the NAMM Foundation. That is basically a support organization for local grassroots celebrations of Make Music Day. Make Music Day is a totally open source idea. It's not an idea that we own, nor does the French Ministry of Culture own it, but we exist to offer support to groups that are celebrating Make Music Day, which is usually happening in a quite hyper-localized way. It's about 100 communities around the United States, from big cities like New York City to tiny towns like Platteville, Wisconsin, that run Make Music Day on June 21st every year in the United States. And we're also involved in supporting a few international chapters in Argentina and Brazil and Italy and Cyprus and Australia, Nigeria, the UK, Hong Kong, and a few other places. My journey to the Make Music Alliance was actually through the work of Pauline Oliveros. If you haven't heard of Pauline Oliveros,
no, yeah, I have. So it's this idea of universalizing the music and music access and making it more about a shared experience when we all learn from that, and it's not about as musicians or as teachers versus the students in different stages, right?
Yeah, so she was really about that, totally, which is something that to me, when I found out about Make Music Day, and I had long loved Pauline's work, it just seemed, I was like, why has nobody made this connection yet? And as I, expressed my kind of experimental leanings earlier, Pauline is certainly in that experimental category, but experimental music as radically inclusive rather than kind of radically esoteric. So I began organizing a piece of hers called the Heart Chant, that is a sonic meditation, as she calls it. It's a participatory vocal piece that is has just simple text instructions. I can share it a little bit later, and anyone can participate. You don't have to be a musician. And while it is often done in kind of a more private setting, I had been inspired by a summer solstice performance, which is also on June 21st, but not for Make Music Day, in California, that I went to for many years, run by the Cardew Choir, where they invite anyone passing by to join in to this piece, and you can kind of join and leave. And so a few times I did the Heart Chant for Make Music Day, just as my own, personal organizing. And I did it with a group of people, inviting strangers and passerby to join for 3 hours continuously. And I did this 3 times, and then wound up working for the Make Music Alliance through that.
Yeah, I would like to ask you a little bit about opportunities that professional musicians, for example, our students that are professional musicians or are intending to become professional musicians in the future, what are the opportunities that they can find in Make Music Alliance and also Make Music Day? And I remember that when we were talking and preparing this interview, you were telling me about an initiative that you put together this year that was about having a composer that had this idea of doing a flower pot piece. I think that this is the name, right?
Yeah,
and
flower pot music.
You created this piece and it was something massive, and you told me, like, this is a professional musician trying to put together a very, very, very difficult experimental piece that couldn't be possible if he would need the economical support to make it happen. But with this initiative, he was able to actually put it together. So this offered him a lot of professional opportunities afterwards.
Yeah, totally. So, um, because Make Music Day is this totally open source idea, by open source, I mean um, it is explicitly an invitation for anyone to run with it and do what they want with it. There are no rules for Make Music Day. There is no process of deciding who gets to be a part of it and who doesn't get to be a part of it. That's kind of the antithesis of what we do. So we're often approached by composers or also music companies of various kinds, organizations that want to put on a project. And this kind of banner of Make Music Day, which is something that a lot of people, that has recognition around the world, offers a chance for people for people interested in running a project to bring a lot of people together around something that it might be hard otherwise to bring a lot of people together for. So this composer, Elliot Cole, I'll put his website in the chat here, a really wonderful composer, teacher at the New School, well known for a lot of classical percussion music. He had written this piece of music called Flower Pot Music, written to be performed on flower pots with percussion mallets. And it's written in plain English without any staff notation because, of course, trying to find a flower pot with a very specific pitch is very time consuming, as Elliot himself will attest to. So he wanted an easier way of making music with flower pots that could allow more people to participate in it. And so he created this piece. And because it's written in plain English, of course, anyone can participate, not just musicians. And so we set about, through his contact list and our chapters, organizing performances of flower pot music around the country. Now, of course, this year, the pandemic hit kind of in the middle of all of this organizing, but that didn't stop Elliot. And he created a new version of the piece specifically written to be performed over Zoom. And we organized 26 performances over Zoom that each were 20 minutes long and spanned 9 hours on Make Music Day. I think it was about 300 people participated in these performances in total. And these were all locally organized by volunteers. A lot of them were friends of Elliot's, but then they got all of their friends to participate then in this, or their percussion students or other people and community members, and we got other people to sign up for it. And so it was, he was able to use this platform of Make Music Day to build on his existing professional connections and really launch something much bigger than he otherwise would have been able to. Getting 300 people to play your music for 9 hours continuously. I mean, that sounds like something reserved perhaps for like Philip Glass or, one of these really, really big name composers, but, and Elliot Cole is, has some clout to his name, certainly, but this is something of a larger scale than would have been possible without this banner of Make Music Day. So, yeah, that's flower pot music. I can share Elliot, if I take a moment to find it.
Yeah, sure.
Elliot created a little highlight video um, of of flower pot music from from Make Music Day this past June 21st. Um, Actually, it might not be as quick to find as I
That's fine.
should have. I should
I'm
have pulled
just
this up.
gonna, I'm
I'll
just
share it
gonna,
later. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna fill the time, just updating some new people that has been joining us and saying that Jonah is a professional musician, but he is also working in Make Music Alliance that is putting together Make Music Day that happens on June 21st all over the world. He was saying that more than 100 cities in the US, but also so many countries outside of the US, they all put together music events on June 21st that are coordinated by this alliance that started in France and then they brought it to the US. And I would like to know if you have an idea, for example, this year that it was all streaming for the first time, of how many people actually not followed the whole thing, that it was a very, very long video of performances from all over the world, but how many people was engaged in actually performing?
That is always a nearly impossible number to say, and I think this year actually it's maybe even more difficult because because Make Music Day is so spread out and so intentionally decentralized. There's a lot going on. I would say that over half of the things that happen for Make Music Day, and I have no idea how much over half, but over half of the things happening for Make Music Day, the Make Music Alliance has no idea that they're happening. Um, and so it's really, really hard to know, but definitely tens of thousands of musicians around the world.
Yeah, and that's what I am answering to one of the comments that is saying this is a great opportunity for performance, sorry, especially during those times. And there's
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
person, Micaela, that is a member of the association, and she is saying that she's from Ecuador and she didn't know about that, but she thinks that it's amazing. So I think that this is being very, very interesting because we are discovering a project that is very enriching for a lot of people from all over the world, and we didn't know about that even if we are in the music world, right? So I would like to emphasize a little bit more the exposure that also not only the opportunity that non-professional musicians have of actually performing and making something together, but also on how professional musicians and performers not only can put together projects like that massive flower pot, but also just performing their music in front of a very large audience coming from all over the world.
Well, yeah. So, Make Music Day is definitely also a great opportunity for professional musicians, um, especially especially in being able to connect with people in other places. You know, Make Music Day is a lot about um, exchange and sharing of ideas and music, um, and so having this larger event in which to place yourself gives some some boost to what it is that you're doing, especially when people really engage with each other in Make Music Day. You know, what is unique about Make Music Day and a little bit different um, than a traditional music festival is that it's not really about it. It doesn't usually work best as just a one-way promotion. Um, it's really about, you know, you're putting yourself out and you're lifting other people up at the same time. And honestly, I think that's a good lesson for promotion in general in the digital age, especially in the digital age, but also beyond and in general, that and just that this comes to a fore much more strongly on Make Music Day, where the music community is really strongest by coming together and sharing each other's music. We had this project this year called My Song is Your Song, where artists submitted their music to me in order and got paired with each other to learn each other's songs and post videos of them on Make Music Day. It was a really great and really successful project. And this year, because a lot of people don't have performance opportunities, we got a lot of really, really great professional musicians participating in this project. I mean, it was actually the first year of this project in general, so I don't know. I hope that professional musicians of a high caliber continue to participate in it. But this was really cool because then they, two really great bands then covered each other's songs and posted a video of them on Make Music Day, and now all of their fans are checking each other's music out, because they all did really, really fantastic covers of each other's songs. And you hear a song you like from a band you like, but played by a different band, you're going to want to go check out that band now. So yeah, that kind of exchange is really kind of a hallmark of what Make Music Day is all about.
Yeah, I just want to read a comment that I think that it's very, very meaningful also from Micaela, that she says that she participated last year with the circle singing group, the Lotus Sound, that is a group that she is part of in Boston. And also she is saying that it's amazing that you are able to put out this message of unity, especially during these times, that is very inspiring for musicians and also for no-musicians, to make sure that we all know that music is a very powerful instrument to unite us and not to divide us, right? And to transform what we don't like about societies and make them better. And then there's a question, so I would like to start with a Q&A, if it's okay for you, Jonah, if you feel comfortable about it. Because
yeah, totally.
There are people that is asking. So Michelle, that it's the president actually of the Latin Association of Berkeley students. I'm always super used to say the Latin Alternative Music Conference, but this is another concept. So we are the Latin American Association of Berkeley Students. Michelle is our president. So she is asking, would you recommend Make Music Day also as a platform where musicians can meet and network to create future projects? Or is it better to become part of it once you have a more developed project?
Definitely either way. It's definitely a great place to network and meet to create future projects. And we, especially this year, tried to focus on ways to do that more, ways to offer more opportunities for that. The My Song is Your Song was one opportunity. Another one this year was this project called Track Meet, where we had musicians sign up to be put on a team of 4 musicians who each got 90 minutes to produce their part of a track sequentially. So over the course of 6 hours, a team of 4 people from scratch made a brand new composition. The first person went for 90 minutes, the second person went for 90 minutes and recorded on top of what the first person did. Then the third person comes along and records on top of what the first 2 people did. And yeah, this has launched some groups of people that are really excited to work with each other in the future. Yeah, and this year it was unique because a project like that happened on a global scale. We had some folks there were actually quite a few Berkeley alums involved in it. Um, but yeah, we had folks from all over the world participating in this project together, whereas typically things for Make Music Day are happening on a really localized level. I know, yeah, some folks in the comments have been mentioning the Make Music Boston and some really cool events for Make Music Boston. And what I think what's really powerful that Make Music Day offers, I think, especially for all of you, is that if there's something that you think would be cool to do, to network, to get to know other musicians, to kickstart a project, Make Music Day is a really great forum in which to do that, because it gives it a certain amount of momentum. You know, there's and so and anyone can run an event for Make Music Day. And in Make Music Boston, you know, if you want to run an event, it'll get listed on the Make Music Boston website as an official Make Music Boston event, you know, and then other people might find it who don't even know you, and people who do know you might be more motivated to be a part of it because it's a part of something bigger, right? Um, so I definitely encourage all of you um, to think about what you want to bring, and also keep your eyes out for what's already happening that you can be a part of. I see a question from Michelle about Track Meet. So Track Meet happened only on Make Music Day, only on June 21st this year. As an idea, I think it's a great idea. It's actually an idea that originally came from our chapter leader in Cyprus, who is herself a Berkeley alum. And it's something that I would encourage people to do. We use this software called Soundtrap online, that is basically a virtual audio workstation. You know the term digital audio workstation. This is a browser-based DAW. So I would encourage people to set up their own track meets anytime. Unfortunately, for Make Music Day, like we concentrate everything on June 21st. So I think we'll do track meet again next year, and it would be open for anyone to join, but it won't be until next June 21st, which is unfortunately
Yeah, this
a
is
little
one
ways
of the
away.
questions that we got from Claudia Medina, that is the music director of the projects that we put together with Labs. And she was asking if actually there are opportunities for composers and also performers that are running throughout the year, not only on June 21st, or if your particular nonprofit company or association is just putting together projects for that particular day.
So we are just putting together things for June 21st, with one exception, which is December 21st, which is Make Music Winter. We had a lot of organizations kind of coming around June 21st and kind of wanted something else to do during the year, and to engage volunteers and donors and kind of keep things moving. So we started Make Music Winter a few years ago. So there are events for December 21st as well. It's decidedly smaller. And this is something that does come up a lot. People kind of wonder about doing things at other times. And I mean, from our perspective, like we want to be as open and inclusive as we possibly can. And so the only limitation, you know, but we have to put some balance on it. You know, usually a music festival, like you have to apply to be a part of it. There's some kind of bounds in that way. The bounds for Make Music Day are wide, wide, wide open, except we got to put the line somewhere. And that line is 24 hours, June 21st. So, you know, anyone is welcome, more than welcome, to take anything that we do and run with it, do it any time of the year. We love it. Tell us about it. But as far as like what we're promoting and what we put out as Make Music Day, it's June 21st specifically.
Yeah, so now I would like to ask something that I think that it's very interesting, and it's coming from Jimena Caballero, that is also the communications and marketing strategist from Labs. And she is saying that she sometimes has problems managing all the business administrative part of music, in addition or in combination with all the performing and composing and what is music. So she wants to know if this is something that you encounter, that you have been experiencing yourself, or it's something that you see in other musicians that you work with, and how you come up with solutions to prevent this to happen, to have this conflict in between the time that you spend organizing and producing and the time that you actually spend composing and performing and all of that.
Mm-hmm. I may have an unpopular and unorthodox answer to that question.
Yeah, this is completely free, so feel free
Yeah,
to say wherever you feel.
yeah.
Don't
Well,
worry.
um, in a way, I guess first I'll say I totally hear you. Like that's a very difficult balance. Like how do you balance that? And how I have decided to balance that in my life largely is to separate it completely. Um, I make the art that I want to make, and I don't think about business at all with it. And I put on shows and I do things that are going to support the art that I want to make. Um, and I try to promote the shows. And I, even get a little bit of press for it sometimes, um, but I don't, I quite actively decided there was a while where I was making a living as a professional musician, and I actively decided that I didn't want to do that. That I that it was that was actually preventing me from being able to make the art that I really wanted to make, because I was worried about making money off of it, which is going to taint what it is that I wanted to do. And so I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore. Um, and yeah, and so I work for the Make Music Alliance, and I have other jobs that I do, and I do work towards that someday perhaps I will be able to support myself just doing my art, but it also that isn't. I just realized for myself that that isn't as important to me as making the art that I want to make, how I want to make it, and that making the art that I want to make, how I want to make it. When I was really, really honest with myself about that, because there was a while where I was fooling myself, thinking that, oh, I'm doing what I want to do, but I was trying to make a living at it. So it was kind of twisted by trying to make a living at it. And when I could really let that go, what I actually wanted to do was quite different. And sometimes I spend more money making my art than I earn, because I want to pay the people that are working for me. And then sometimes I earn a bunch of money and then negative, and uh, having other income and being able to separate my business and my art as kind of mindsets has been helpful for me to, yeah.
Yeah, so Micaela is actually saying that that is a songwriting, was super worried at some point to just try to make money and create hits, and after a while she realized that it was only worthy if she was actually writing what she felt that she needed to write, and that this is very important to know that there's people that feels the same way as well. And I would also like to know another question that Claudia mentioned that is about how anybody, if you are a professional musician, you are a music student, or you are just a performer, a composer, a music educator that want to get involved, maybe with your group of students, maybe with a community that you're working on, maybe with your professional music project, how can they do that? How can they get in touch and make a proposal and become a part of it?
Yeah, so we certainly take proposals from anybody. Absolutely. I think what we're, as a support organization and not a curatorial organization, we're not so much interested in deciding like who to include and who to not include. Like everybody's included. What we're interested in is how we can provide the best support to Make Music Day. So for someone like Elliot Cole, the best support is a national special project, because he had a lot of capability to pull that off. He had content, he had an email list of 400 people in cities around the country that really helped to pull his groups together, and we were just here kind of as the support for it and spreading the word, and perhaps we might deem that the best support for your project is on a local level and put you in touch with the local organizer of Make Music Boston, or yeah, perhaps we have some other kind of sponsorship that might, we like, for instance, each year we get donations of drumsticks and harmonicas from Vic Firth and Honer, reverse that order. And occasionally we get some other kinds of donation items. Like if that's something that your project would benefit from, and you're in a chapter, like in a city with a Make Music Day chapter, like, yeah, you could get 100 pairs of drumsticks if that's something that's helpful. Right. So, we have some resources, limited resources, and are definitely interested and excited to connect you with those resources to the extent that we can. Yeah, I hope that answers the
awesome.
question.
That answers the question. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And then there's a question from John, and he says, how can you promote a project like Make Music Day and really involve people into it and not just to pass by?
I presume you mean promote a project on Make Music Day?
I think that it means like how you can actually put together Make Music Day. Correct me, John, if I'm wrong, but I understood that it's more about like how to put together this project and actually get people interested on that and participating in that. How can you actually promote such a huge event and get people involved for real?
Yeah, well, I think it really helps to have something that is really easy to plug into, that's very straightforward and easy to plug into, and something that is scalable, something that is interesting for 5 people to be involved with and interesting for 50 people to be involved with. That it doesn't rely on having a certain number of people. I mean, everything's got its minimum. Maybe the minimum's 10, maybe the minimum's 8 or something. But, with flower pot music, right, even though like there were 250 plus performers involved in this piece, it was a piece that can be played by 4 people. And sure enough, some of those 26 performances had only 4 people. And that was part of what made it successful, because people could feel like they were participating in something meaningful, no matter at what scale. And also making things really easy for people easy and straightforward to join into. One like clear example is like show up at this place and this time. Um, you know, but if you're talking about a project that involves something, you know, in advance, I spend a lot of time thinking about the language that I use to invite people to do something, um, and making the steps really clear, and only telling people as much as they need to know to be able to participate, right? Because there's oftentimes more that goes into putting something together on your end that people don't actually need to know about, maybe until later, maybe until they're doing it. Um, but you just want people to like know what is it that they're getting out of this, you know, and what do they need to get involved, and to make that a really kind of low barrier to entry. Yeah, and then you know, including with that, like what, you know, what it is that they're being a part of, you know. This there's a lot of great science recently about motivation, and kind of levels of human motivation, and purpose, or being a part of something larger than ourselves, is a big, really big motivator. And so Make Music Day itself is that, and then to make your project that as well, something that, you know, will uplift other people's voices, and you know, encourage people to be themselves.
And I think
Yeah.
that's something that is very important also about Make Music Day, and the fact that it arrives to so many people. So it's a very large project. I think that it has actually the support of the NAM Foundation, and the NAM Foundation arrives to many people across the globe. So maybe this is a platform that is actually helping you to promote this Make Music Day a lot, because, for example, in my case, that's how I actually got to know you in the first place, right? So yeah, I think that the support of NAM, and also the support of everybody that is involved, that it can be like amateur musicians, community groups, but also professional musicians, and all of these people that you said that are collaborating, all the brands and all the supporters and donors. If everybody is actually putting together this effort and making this day happening, and also promoting all the activities, I think that it's pretty easy that a project like this gets bigger and bigger, and it catches the attention of many people from across the world, because it's something very unique and very specific at the same time, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So I don't know if we have any other question, and if not, I would love you to share something else about the work that you do in Make Music Day, but also as a musician, and maybe if you want to reproduce or to perform a small part of your pieces, and provide, of course, the contact information for people to collaborate. So if it can be maybe the link to the website, or if you have your personal email that you want to share, like wherever that it's
Sure.
easy for our members and everybody that is going to be watching this video afterwards to actually be in touch and become a part of it.
Yeah, totally. Could you enable screen sharing so I can share my screen and share a few
So
little videos?
I am going to ask for Claudia's help in order to be able to actually share the screen, so that Jonah can do it, because I can't do it because she is the one that is actually administrating.
Okay.
I think that now you should be able to do it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia.
So first, I'll share just a little video, since we were talking about flower pot music. I'll share some of this video of flower pot music, so you can hear what this sounded like and check it out a little bit.
Yeah, Jonah, they are telling me that they are not actually being able to
Oh,
listen to it. So if you can
oh no.
put the
Okay.
share audio sound, that maybe it's gonna get
Yes,
a
I
little
don't
bit
think that
clearer.
worked. I'm sorry. Oh, you should have told me that sooner. You should
No,
have told
at
me
the
that sooner.
beginning, at least for me, at the beginning, I was listening to it, and then it became like smoother and smoother.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'll just play a second longer. I
Okay,
think
awesome, thank you.
let me know if this works.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a little taste of what that project is about. I mentioned the heart chant, um, the piece that got me involved with Make Music Day in the first place. This is a little um, combination of videos from a few flower pot music performances, including one from last summer that happened in the Oculus in downtown Manhattan, with some really great footage shot by Nam. Cool. So that was that. And then maybe something of my work. You said I can. Yeah. Let's see. Um,
It would be amazing to be able to actually end
sure.
if you can share some of your music.
Yeah.
And then also if you can provide the link to Make Music Day
No.
and Make Music Alliance, or your email or contact information on what is the best way that people that wants to join the initiative can get in touch with you.
Okay. I'm going to find a video. Give me a moment. I'm sorry for not here. I'll just pause the screen share for a moment. I have to find this video. The work that I've been making mostly lately with my group ECHOensemble, which involves musicians and dancers all moving and making sound, is it's it's largely it's very long form work. Um, it it evolves very slowly over time, and it's really best experienced in person. Um, but I wanted to create a way of being able to experience it like a little bit more quickly, and so I created this time lapse, which, if you know what a time lapse is, it's just a really sped up video. So this is one of our performances from this past January, 20 times faster. So it's almost comical to watch something this fast, but I think it actually gives a certain kind of a sense of the work, perhaps. So here we go. This is our kind of format that we call echo chamber, where the audience is sometimes walking through us and with us. So there isn't any sound at first. Yeah. So that's a
That
kind
was
of...
you. That was you, the last one that was playing guitar and doing this kind of balancing movement. It was you, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, now I think that if there's no more questions, it's the perfect time for you to actually share how we can get in touch with you directly. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, totally. So I just put my email into the chat. It's jonah@makemusicday.org. I would encourage you first to check out makemusicday.org and check out some of the things that we've done in the past, and some of the things that we're likely to be up to for next year as well. And yeah, definitely don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions and ideas, and hopefully I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us. And
thank you
also
all.
For sharing your personal contact, that this is amazing. Not everybody does that, and it's
Absolutely.
very useful. So thank you so much. And again, I encourage everybody to actually check the Make Music Alliance and Make Music Day and all the work that they do and the opportunities that they offer, because it's very cool and very unique in the world. And thank you again so much, Jonah, and everybody that joined us. And we are going to be doing this kind of professional industry sessions on Saturdays at the same time during the months of July and August. So please, if you enjoyed it, be with us next week with our next guest. And again, thank you, Jonah. Thank you, everybody, and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and thank you all for your questions. This has been wonderful. Y'all take care.